We approve them.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, the next item, per our ordinance, it's supposed to be the first meeting of every even-numbered year, but we did it on the second meeting because we had several out last week, so we pushed it back to today, is the election of officers. We are going to elect a chair and a vice chair. I'm going to recommend to you as a board to, on the secretary, just to appoint staff to do that. We've had a secretary in the past, but truth is, Mandy's not here, I'm gonna do it. If neither one of us are here, we're not meeting. So,
I like it. I like it.
just,
I like that. That's good. I'm in favor of that.
I recommend that we appoint staff to handle the secretary work. So we will start with the chair position, and I will open up the floor to the commission members for any nominations.
Who's not here that we can nominate? Greg would be a great one.
Greg and Trey are not here.
But Greg can't, because Greg's gonna have to.
I think Shane's been doing such a good job, I nominate him to continue, if he would like.
I will be glad to continue unless somebody wants it, and they're welcome to have it if they do.
I mean, I want to take it.
There you go.
I second,
Wait a minute,
or make that nomination then.
wait, Sean?
I'll second it.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
So we need to remove the nomination for the first one if we're gonna take the nomination for the second. So whoever nominated and seconded Shane needs to pull
I
that.
remove my nomination.
Yep. And then there would need to be a second nomination.
I'd be glad to nominate Sean.
Sean?
I'll be glad to second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second for Sean Johnson to serve as chair of PRT Commission. And this is a 2-year term. Any other nominations? Any other discussion? Be it none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Question, do you want me to run today, or do you want to run today?
I'll go ahead and let you have it
Okay,
for today.
so we will continue on to vice chair. Of course, this position would operate the meeting if the chair is not able to be present. And we'll open up the nominations now for vice chair. So much support.
Wow.
Got quiet in here all of a sudden.
Shane is the vice chair, because he knows what to do.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean,
It's fine.
all right, I'll nominate Shane as vice chair then.
Yes.
And so we have a nomination for Shane Smith to serve as vice chair,
Good job, Shane.
and a second. Any other nominations?
I'm ready.
Riley's just glad his name wasn't called.
Yes, sir. Enough.
Any other discussion? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty.
Of Trey being the new chairman?
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect time.
So we have Sean Johnson will serve as our chair for the next few years. Shane Smith will serve as vice chair. And my recommendation to you for secretary is that there's a motion and a second to appoint staff to handle the secretary duties.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Alex and Shane. And all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
For staff to do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much, and thank you to Sean and Shane for willingness to serve. We will jump right into our grant recommendations. Just a quick reminder of the treasurer's report, where we were. This is the same as last week. I have not updated it. It's probably a little higher now because we've had a whole month of ATAX come in since I did this report, but I didn't want to change it for today. The spring ATAX cycle, we have 11 total grants. You have 106,877 ineligible grants, and ATAX has been good to us, and so we're going to recommend $60,000 today. It's our highest amount to date that we've done in the grant cycle. So I'm excited about that for all of our applicants, having a better opportunity to receive some assistance. So we will go through each of these real fast, ask for any final questions, and then we will start our recommendation process. If you have a question on any of these as we go through them, please let me know. You should also have a sheet that I put in front of each of you that will help maybe write down some things. I believe I've got how much is eligible on there, and then 60,000 is our target max number for today. Lake Hartwell Country is the first one. They are eligible for the entire $15,000 for Blue Ridge Magazine and targeted social media campaigns. Any questions for Lake Hartwell Country application? All right, the second one is the South Carolina Apple Festival. This is what number is this? 60th. This is the 60th Apple Festival. They're eligible for $7,383. Any questions for Apple Festival? Discover Upcountry Marketing. They are eligible for the entire $15,000 to assist with their regional campaign. You can see the outlets there: Southern Living, Travel Guide, Georgia Magazine, SC Living, Newcomer, Georgia, AAA, AAA Go, and Angler. Any questions on Discover Upcountry South Carolina application? All right, the next one is the Upstate Heritage Quilt Trail. Funds requested for rack cards, website, social media, and interpretive signs. They are eligible for the full $3,399. Any questions?
We have given to them in the past, correct? Just not in the last 2 years?
Just not in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Oconee Military Museum for new windows, phase 1 of the new window project. I think I told you last week he's got like 40-something windows in that building. This will be his first phase. It's $15,000. He's eligible for $6,150.
Is that museum in Seneca? Is that museum in Seneca, the military museum?
The next one is the Berkeley Strickland Cultural Museum. This is for advertising the second Juneteenth festival, both TV and digital with Channel 7 and Channel 62. You can see the total project budget and the estimated impact, and their total amount eligible is $14,505. Any questions for Berkeley Strickland Cultural Museum? Okay, next one is the Main Street Walhalla. This is for our new light pole banners for Main Street. They see their total budget for the year, and they're eligible for $4,200. Any questions for Main Street Walhalla? Rock the Ranch Music Festival. $5,000 request. They're actually eligible for the whole amount, but if you remember, we gave them $2,000 2 years ago. They canceled it, so they've held that money back. So I took that off of their total amount of eligible, so they're eligible for $3,240. Which, in addition to the $2,000 from 2 years ago, puts them up to that number. Any questions for Rock the Ranch? City of Walhalla Transportation Shuttle. This is to purchase a limo-type golf cart, if you will, to help during events to maneuver and move traffic throughout downtown. They're eligible for $6,000 of their request. Any questions on City of Walhalla? Oconee County Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center Staffing. This is a $20,000 request to assist with staffing. It's to coexist with Westminster and Walhalla. They will partner with Visit Oconee's center here in Walhalla, and then have presence in Westminster as well for walk-in traffic. Any questions for our Oconee County Chamber of Commerce? And the last one is Walhalla Performing Arts Center. This is a $12,000 request for advertising for the 2022 season. You can see the total budget, total impact, and they are eligible for the entire $12,000. Any questions on Walhalla Performing Arts Center? All right, we are at that time where you guys need to start talking and communicating. Mr. Chair, now I'll let you kind of lead that discussion on how you start and go down the list, or where you start. And I will pull up a sheet to plug in totals so we can see where we are as we do that.
Shane, before we, just a quick question. All the applicants are currently, that had funding or up to date with their reporting and stuff?
No. No, but I'm working on that. I think I finally have a system, but thank you.
I had a question. Can you remind me how much money is available?
60.
60.
60,000.
Sean.
Sean.
Wait a minute. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and proceed. I'd say we just take it from the top to the bottom. We go ahead and put just a guesstimate, just get started, and then we can tweak afterwards.
Typically, we go down through there,
Yeah.
put your guess on it, where you want to be with each one. It can be over when you get to the bottom,
Yeah,
and then when you get to the bottom, that's when you gotta really start digging in and making your decisions.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to make some decisions here, because if you take the top 4 requesters and just fully fund those, then we're out. We're over already.
Correct.
So we're gonna have to
Correct.
make some pretty tough decisions on this one.
absolutely. Let's go ahead and begin with Lake Hartwell Country.
I'd say start in the 5,000 range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agree.
Okay. All right, next, South Carolina Apple Festival.
$3,500. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Next up, Discover Upcountry, South Carolina.
Let's try 5 on that one too.
I hear the number and I see the head nods,
Yeah.
so that's when I put it up there.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you'll know.
Yes.
I think we'll be able to raise some of these.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Upstate Heritage Quilt Trail.
Say 1,500.
1,500, yeah. That's what I
Yes.
had down on my.
Okay. Next up, Oconee Military Museum.
I'm so surprised you can buy any windows for 7,000. It's hard to
That's what I was thinking a little higher for them, just because I just don't know where the rest of their funding would come from.
Yeah.
So on mine, I had 4,000. I know it's a higher percentage of the rest, but it's still not a ton of money.
Yeah.
Good with that. Yeah.
To 4,000.
Yeah, let's start there.
4,000?
Okay. Okay. All right, next up, Bertha Lee Strickland Cultural Museum.
At 7,500.
Yeah.
No.
Good starting point.
Okay. Main Street Walhalla with the pole banners.
I had 25 on mine, just.
At 2,000, but 25 is good.
25. Okay. Next up, Rock the Ranch.
16?
Sure. 16 is good.
Say that one more time.
1,600. Yeah. All right, next up, City of Walhalla with the downtown shuttle.
I had 25 on that one as well. That's their other request. 2,500, right?
We're good. Oconee County Chamber of Commerce with the visitor center staffing.
At 7,500 on that one.
So just to clarify, because this is not Visit Oconee, it comes through this grant cycle instead of
Correct.
through a budget request?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, 7,500. 7,500?
Yeah,
7,500. Okay, make sure. All right. And Walhalla Performing Arts Center for advertising.
I had 8,000 on that one. But again, it's a higher percentage. But
The ROI is
yeah, exactly.
so good with them.
Right, and that's the only reason why I was considering higher percentage for them.
Okay. All right, so what's the total?
So yeah, we have
All right, so good. We're
48,600.
under then, so that's good.
Yeah, so we have a lot of wiggle room on several of these.
All right.
What if on the chamber one, at least do 10
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
as a number?
Yeah, let's start there.
All right. Okay.
I know Lake Hartwell and Discover Upcountry both, we have given more previously in previous years than that 5,000. So maybe we go on those.
Maybe go 7,500 on each of those or
I was
something.
gonna say maybe 7,000.
Yeah.
And just see where that kind of puts us with the rest of the line.
So 7,000.
On 7,000 on Lake Hartwell and Discover.
Okay.
So
All right, we're getting closer, okay?
Yeah.
4,900.
I'll be honest, the interpretive signage for the quilt trail is really needed.
Okay.
Like, if we're gonna have quilts out there, I think we do need more interpretive signage, because there's a lot of questions. I see it up on the mountain all the time, people stopping and being like, what's that?
Wanna go up
Yeah,
to- Go 2,000 on that one?
I mean, just a little bit more, but I think that definitely putting a little bit towards that would be good.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
2,000 or,
2,000 should be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, we have the money for moving around.
Okay.
I would take the Juneteenth advertising up to 9.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that event's gonna really grow. I mean, this is the second year, but
It shows
it's,
they don't have anybody.
Yeah, I'm fine with 9,000 on that one for sure.
It's just zero.
So that still gives us 2,900.
This is funds mansion.
I mean, once again, if we're talking ROI, do we want to bump the
well,
Performing
Performing
Arts
Arts
Center up
Center's
Yep.
a great draw.
Yeah,
maybe
we
15
definitely can.
Maybe take it to 9,500?
Sure.
Which one?
Or even 10.
Performing
Walhalla
Arts.
Performing Arts Center.
Go to 10?
I think 10's worth it on, I mean,
Yeah,
Well, that's why I had it so high to begin with, because I do know the money goes
Yes.
and is
Yeah,
put to good,
Let's go
good
10.
use.
We'll go 10. All
and,
right, so 900.
$900.
I mean, it's the staffing. I'd do the visitor center staffing. And we got 900. That's a hard one.
Can we take that 9, put it toward the Apple Festival?
I was about to say the Apple Festival's a pretty good draw
Yeah, it's
too
a
at the
big-
end of
And
the
it's,
day.
it's Westminster's signature event.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
put
you wanna
it
do
put it on Apple
4,400
Festival.
on that one?
Yeah, I agree with that.
44 on the Apple?
44.
That
There you
gets us
go.
even 6,000?
Yes.
I was looking at the wrong number over here.
How do you
It
feel about
seems
it?
like a pretty fair distribution in my mind,
Yeah.
with the limit, not the limited funds we have, but limited compared to the requests.
Yeah, I don't feel like we've left anybody, on
So,
short-sighted.
Yeah, the downtown shuttle and Discover Upcountry are both below 50% of their requests. And so is Lake Hartwell Country. Just an observation. I mean, I agree with the,
You didn't hear this last week just because you weren't here, but there's two Walhalla requests, the marketing and then the shuttle. If there's a way to make one more than the other, for them, the marketing is more important than the shuttle. If that's good news, if that's information for y'all to make a decision.
And that did factor into my calculation at least. I'm not sure anybody else.
cool, so is it the Main Street and the city of, or
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the marketing is more important than the shuttle for their operation right now.
I mean, you wanna go 3,500, 1,500? If we're, just to bump them up?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with doing that too.
That's 3,500 for the pole banners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Take 1,000 away from one, give it to the other.
Yeah. If it helps one versus the other. And then go to 15 on the shuttle.
We do.
That gets them pretty close to what they asked for.
Yeah.
All right, what do y'all think?
I can't see.
Y'all need your own screen over there?
Yeah, because I can't, I can't.
I'm good with it.
I think it looks.
It looks good,
to me.
everybody's got
I can't
something.
see.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we have in the past done a lot worse.
Right. Luckily, we have the money to give out, just not all of it.
Yeah.
Right, right,
At least we can help everybody.
yes.
Oh, my.
Do I hear I see a full nod of support for the numbers?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right,
we
if
good?
so, any final discussion on these numbers?
Just because of what you mentioned, I mean, if we're only at, whatever that is, 25% of the eligible for the city of Walhalla, I mean, is it worth funding it at all? From their standpoint? No, that's a hard question, but if it's not gonna happen.
What was your question?
If we're only at 25% of the eligible for the city of Walhalla, do they want that money to go?
So their request was 9,500. Their application says they can put up to 6 towards the,
Yeah.
towards it. So depending on what they choose, because there's a couple of bids back here, between 12 and 14. It gets them close.
Yeah.
And the 1,500 gives them 7,500 towards that purchase. And then, they can determine if there's other funding options to meet that gap, bridge that gap.
Supplement, supplement,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, if everybody's happy, then procedurally, we will go down each one, and we will need a motion for each one, a motion and a second and a vote. So I'll just start at the top. Lake Hartwell Country, need a motion for the $7,000.
I make a motion that we approve the 7,000 for Lake Hartwell Country.
Second.
Somebody. Pick 'em up.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
South Carolina Apple Festival.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 4,400 in funding for the South Carolina Apple Festival.
Second.
Rodney? Trey and Rodney. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Discover Upcountry.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 7,000 for Discover Upcountry.
Second.
Sean?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Upstate Heritage Quilt Trail.
Make a motion that we award $2,000 to the Upstate Heritage Quilt Trail.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Oconee Military Museum,
I make a motion that we approve $4,000 for the Oconee Military Museum.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Bertha Strickland Cultural Museum,
I'd like to make a motion that we approve $9,000 for the Bertha Strickland Cultural Museum.
Second.
Sean or Alex?
Either one.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Recusal from,
Three.
that's okay, just make a note. In the minutes. Main Street Walhalla,
I'll make a motion that we fund Main Street Walhalla 3,500.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Rock the Ranch Music Festival,
I make a motion to approve $1,600 for Rock the Ranch.
Second?
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
City of Walhalla, Downtown Shuttle,
Make a motion, we award $1,500 to the city of Walhalla downtown shuttle.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Oconee County Chamber of Commerce, Visitor Center staffing,
I'd like to make a motion that we approve $10,000 for the Oconee County Chamber of Commerce staffing.
Second.
Everybody's eager today.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Walhalla Performing Arts Center,
I'll make a motion that we approve $10,000 for the Walhalla Performing Arts Center.
Second?
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
This is our highest amount that we've granted out in any one cycle. So I'm excited about that because ATAX has been good to us. We have increased that number, so I'm super happy on behalf of the county and managing that fund that we've been able to do that and help. We've got 11 partners here in the industry that we're helping today, so really appreciate that. Future discussion, this is just for management. When you get your email for the grant cycles, we include all the scans for the applications. And then at the first meeting, Mandy usually prints all that out for you. Do you want that to be digital, or do you want it to be paper, continuing to be paper?
I'm okay with digital.
I'm good with it.
Is it
I'm good
digital?
with it.
Is, yeah.
Everybody's good digital.
And if you do want them printed for whatever reason, just let me know.
Okay.
And I can, definitely.
Obviously, it's a lot of paper.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And if there's, if you get it digitally and there's something specific you want printed out, let us know. We'll print it out and make sure that if you're gonna bring it up as a topic of discussion, we'll make sure everybody has a copy of that particular piece of the grant. But if digital works, then that keeps us from printing everything. Because you get to see it digitally before the review meeting, and then that way you've got it until that day of the recommendation.
Yeah.
You can, one thing that if it is possible, it would help tremendously, I think, digitally, is to not do them as separate files, but to put the files together and bookmark them.
Well,
So we can do the only way we can do that, we do a zip file, and then make them.
I haven't tried that. I've tried everything to try to do it all at one time, but
It's a lot.
it is a lot.
There's a lot of pictures involved and
And
a lot of
graphics,
stuff, and so
yeah.
it makes it just a crazy file.
And that's why I usually have to send 2 emails with everything.
I do think maybe when we were doing the discussion on it originally, we have the graphics, that's the overview of, what they've requested, what they're eligible for, maybe what we've funded in the past. If it could be displayed for us as well as we're discussing, that might be
Yeah.
a
So
easy
like-
way for us to view it right away.
The cover page portion.
Correct.
You want that with the application, or just,
I'm just saying, as we're discussing here in chamber.
oh, yeah, well, I mean, I have the ability to go back to them.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking?
You talking about this one for each one?
Well, I know that's
No,
kind of what we see is the overview, but
Oh, the
yeah,
cover page.
right, if that were maybe just displayed so we could see where the funds went kind of thing, as we're discussing, it might, in lieu of having any paperwork in front of us, it'd be easy for us to view it all at once.
But I'm still gonna print out an agenda,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you'll have an agenda, you'll have the treasurer's report,
minutes,
and, you know, I could probably even print out those particular pages,
those frames.
you know, those frames right there, I could print those out also the day of the vote, that way you've got them to look at.
Sounds good.
This doesn't allow me to split screen to
Okay.
have the running total and that going at one time for you.
Gotcha.
We could go back and forth,
Okay.
it just doesn't allow me to do both of those at the same time. Okay, so we'll work to try to do one file, we'll research that a little bit, and if that's not possible, we'll stay on this track. Upcoming events, was on your,
No,
it was on the agenda, just so you see upcoming events, it was
On
the
the-
same as last.
It's on the minutes.
Last week, yes, on the minutes. We've got our, the Bassmaster Classic obviously is on Hartwell this weekend. We've got the high school and the college going out of South Cove tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. And then they'll weigh in with the pros at, the Bon Secours, I keep calling it Bio Center, Bon Secours. On those days, so that's a big deal for them to be part of that process. Few fishing tournaments, and then we get into cycling season, so you can see how that's laid out. Next meeting for this commission is May the 5th, and you've got the other 4 if you need to mark them for the rest of the year. And if there's no other business for the good of the group, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Third, fourth.